Brodes Media.
It's always fun to sit here and talk about a victory. It's also always fun to bring cash home and put it in my pocket for my family. What's that? DraftKings Sportsbook, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my gosh. NFL fans, what's your favorite touchdown? For me, it's the next one. Because with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, every touchdown could bring you closer to cashing in. From first touchdown score to anytime touchdown props or the thrill of live in-game betting, every snap is loaded with opportunity. So take a look at Thursday Night Football, the over-unders on receiving yards, rushing yards, passing yards, the game totals in general. There's so much there for you. Saturday, college football, the World Series is back in action after going to LA from Toronto. You got so much. The NFL slate on Sunday without the Eagles since they're on their bye. Here's the best part. New customers bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Your team hitting pay dirt pays out to you. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code Brodes. That's code Brodes for new customers to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crowd is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Budo Casino and Resort. Pass-through and per wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 plus and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer. Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome on in to Sports Talk with Brodes. We got some more things to talk about in regards to this Eagles-Giants game that went down on Sunday. The one that I call an ass-kicking. The one that I call dominant. The one that I call, hey, we got our swagger back. The one that I call Jalen Hurts is a dog. The one that I call so is Jalix Hunt. The one that I call, yo, Smitty, you're a number one. The one that I call A.J. Brown's probably a little sad. The one that I call, hey, Mr. Kevin Patullo, welcome to the party. And that's where we're going to begin. I can sit here and for, I don't know, 3 hours, I could tell you how much I love Jalen Hurts. And damn it, I should do that. And damn it, we'll mix it in. But Kevin Patullo has been crushed, and I mean crushed, by yours truly and by a lot of fans in this city for a long-ass time. And rightfully so. They couldn't complete a first down in some of these games for like 30 minutes. The Eagles offense, that is, they were so abysmal, they couldn't complete a pass in an entire half. Something ain't right when that's the case. And when you hear from Lane Johnson publicly in the locker room that we are just too predictable, and then you hear it from Dan Orlovsky, and you hear it from Brian Baldinger, and you hear it from Emmanuel Acho, and they are breaking down film for the entire world to see, something must be done about it. And to Kevin Patullo's credit, and the staff, and the players, everybody involved in that offensive meeting that we heard about, since then, they've had the answers. And I am going to look right at you, Kevin Patullo, and say, good shit. Good shit. Everything used to look so hard. Now, here's Jalen touching Brett Thoat's ass crack. He gets the ball. He's turning his back to the play. It's a fake handoff play action. Smitty's wide open in the middle of the field. Wide open. Now, Yeah, Smitty is a damn electric route runner. Some would say maybe the best in all of the land. He is that gross. But he was that gross when you couldn't complete a completion in the second half of a football game. He was still just as filthy in weeks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 when things made your eyes bleed offensively for good portions of games. He was still nasty then. But I was wondering, when would we see a passing offense where the routes, the concepts, the play design just organically and naturally created separation for some of these studs? I'm watching Smitty wide open with and without A.J. Brown. I'm watching you be less predictable. I'm watching some big-ass men, 6 of them. Here's Fred Johnson from the sidelines running on in. Where do you need me, coach? Let's pancake a motherfucker and put him in the damn turf. It's outstanding, isn't it? It makes me smile. So, Kevin Patullo, thank you. I'm not just going to be some prick that rips you 24/7 when it is an abomination of an offense. And then when I see things I love and when I see things I appreciate, I'm going to hold a grudge. No. This was what it was always about. I need to see an offense that looks like a damn electric offense. And I need you to have answers. And look, you weren't just going to walk in and ho-hum, here they are, no skipping of the beat whatsoever, and it's just going to be perfect from day one. That was never the thought, and that wasn't the bar that I had, and that's why I was so aggravated early, right? I needed competence. I needed it to be where people weren't losing their mind on a national stage because it was so elementary. I need it where my right tackle doesn't blow a gasket after a game's over because he's been in the league forever and understands that this is Bush League crap. This is Pop Warner football crap. This is stuff that happens at U12, okay? 12 and under football. Like, this is so blah. This is never going to work. It was that uncomfortable of a watch. It's crazy that it flips to this level so quickly like that. Like, why did we have to take this path? But we're here. And we're here pretty early-ish. You're 8 weeks in. It's not as if it took them until week 13, week 14, week 15. And what I'm not going to do is act as if the only reason why they're able to contribute like this is because you're facing a Giants team. Is there something to be said about their run defense? Yeah, probably. Tank Bigsby just got 100 yards. With all due respect to Tank, who maybe was just waiting for a breakout opportunity. Who knows? I mean, he was abysmal with returning and anything in the special teams game, but maybe he was salivating out of his mouth going, just give me a damn chance, motherfuckers. Give me a damn chance to break and dance in the backfield and find some opportunities. Once this offensive line starts to go to, give me the ball. Maybe he's been just so hungry to show and so determined to show that he's got more worth than just whatever was going wrong in the return game. By the way, shout out Will Shipley for some of those returns because it set up that offense nicely. There's a big difference maker when you can get someone with speed and see some lanes and actually get yourself set up where, I don't know, you're working from your own 48. You're working from the 50. You got midfield already rumbling here to start off a drive. That's important. So shout out Will Shipley. But where did I want to go? Oh, the Giants. Yeah, I mean, listen, 2 100-yard rushers, especially with a run game that's been struggling. Did the Giants have some reason why it went that way? Probably some. But I still think a lot of this is the Eagles figuring themselves out more than it is the Giants are trash. And the Giants are trash. That's why Thursday Night Football bothered me so much. They're 2-6. You can talk all you want about the resurgence of Giants football because of Jackson Dart. Got a long way to go. I do this all the time. And by no means are these two organizations on the same footing right now. But I said it with Commanders fans, and I was saying it with Jackson Dart when he won a game, and then they lost to the Saints, and then like, what the hell happened? And listen, to win consistently in this league, you don't even understand the difficulty. You don't get it. But Brodes, Jaden Daniels isn't healthy. That's part of it. It's not just what do you do for me when you're available. It's are you available? Joe Burrow is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL when healthy. Unfortunately, he's not a lot of the time. And that Super Bowl appearance was a long time ago now. A long time ago. So when you get, and I get it, you're coming from the bottom of the barrel to hoping that there's some expectations with Jackson Dart, blah, blah, blah. But like, they stink. The Giants stink. Well, Neighbors is hurt. Well, that's part of it. And I know no one wants to see, any of these gruesome injuries that Scatterboo got, and what Neighbors went through was a pretty significant one and all. But it's just the reality of this intense business is the health and availability. And then the consistent winning, having answers when teams figure you out, when you can't get your head on straight. Do you have the culture set internally to make sure everything in your power is put in to get off the schneid and get the damn results you're looking for? Or are you just going to plummet and chalk it up to, this is just part of the year? This was just part of who we were supposed to be this season, an underwhelming, underachieving team coming off of a Super Bowl? Or will you have Jalen Hurts lead you to wins after wins after wins after wins? Because his mentality doesn't shake. His confidence never shakes. And he's going to do anything in his fucking power to stop a losing streak. And then to start looking like the dominant force again. Oh my God, it's my quarterback. Oh, that's my quarterback, baby. Oh, man. But anyway, with Kevin Patullo, as I take a sip of my coffee here, you look like you were with him on Sunday. That pass to Dallas Goedert for his second touchdown. There were some pretty and he's been good in the red zone. The red zone stuff has been awesome, and that's been why you're able to win a lot of these games is instead of 3 points or instead of turning it over on downs on fourth, you have a lot of good stuff happening in the red zone at such a high clip that's awesome. And Kevin Patullo deserves a lot of credit for that. We've seen some of the cute and creativeness to Dallas Goedert, right? The little shovel passes, this and that. And but I really like that play design that got Dallas Goedert going. And Jalen throws a nice ball right on the money, allows Dallas Goedert to take it into the end zone. Oh, it's so lovely. Just like the sip of coffee. All right, so I want to play audio for you from Kurt Warner. I also have some Ray Didinger audio. But first, do you see this cigar that's in my hands? Oh my God, is that not the most perfect cigar your eyes have ever laid eyes on? That is, of course, an Emilio cigar. And there is nothing better in this world than when an Emilio cigar gets lit up and it touches your damn lips. Oh! And then the taste. Oh! That's going to be you every second that you're enjoying one of these puppies. There's only one cigar to smoke, ladies and gentlemen, and that is an Emilio cigar. Old school roots, new school attitude, locally owned, third generation, made at Fabrica Oveja Negra in Nicaragua. When I tell you this is as serious of a cigar as you are going to find, I mean it. If you are a cigar smoker, do me a favor. Click the link down below in the description. Check out all the options that they have available for you. There's not a bad one on the website. I'll tell you that for free. And what if I told you You can get 10% off by utilizing code BRODES10 at checkout. Well, that is the truth. That is the case. So do not be a fool. Not only are you getting the best cigars on the market, but you're also getting 10% off your purchase. Promo code BRODES10. When I tell you, listeners of this very fine program have sent me email after email, indented paragraphs explaining how much they've enjoyed Emilio cigars, I mean it. And it's pretty cool to see you guys sort of have that response and to trust in me when I tell you, listen, we ain't messing around here, all right? I'm only going to lean you towards a direction that's going to make your mouth water with joy. Emilio Cigars. Check him on out today. Okay, let's listen to Kurt Warner as we continue here. So Kurt Warner joined Jacob Sports, and he was talking about the Eagles offense. And if he is buying into what the Eagles offense has provided. Here we go.
I didn't really know what their identity was. They throw a bunch one game and then they try to run a bunch of one game, and nothing was necessarily great. And they weren't happy on any side of it in how they were playing offensively. And so I think, the jury for me is still out on, okay, who are they going to be down the stretch? What are they going to hang their hat on? Throw for 301 game, you come back and run for almost 301. Like, I don't really know. And, you also want to know, are they good enough to do one of those things and say, hey, when all else fails, we know that we can win doing this. That's what they did last year. Last year, they said we knew we could win running the football and playing defense. And we don't care who comes in. We don't care what they try to do to us. We know that we will win in these two phases every single week.
Okay, so I totally understand where he's coming from. You're right. There was something about the arrogance set last season. This is us. It doesn't matter that this is us. You can't stop us. And that's dangerous. And that's why you go and face a Kansas City team and blow them out 40-6. But I also do think part of what makes a team special is they have multiple different ways to decipher a matchup and to kill you. And it's not a bad thing if on a week-to-week basis, you're not necessarily sure on the way the Eagles are going to attack. They can steal your soul by leaning on their offensive line and Saquon Barkley coming alive and taking it 60 to the house, and Tank Bigsby even as a complimentary piece, as a secondary back, could even lower his shoulder and be mean and be tough, and then they rely heavily on their run game that day. But if there is a day where the run game isn't as effective, because for whatever reason, it's not the same as last year. Last year, you had one of the best running games in all-time history ever. And there's a reason why guys don't play with those type of rushing yards year in and year out. This was a historic NFL moment last year, and that's not the norm, right? You can have a very powerful run game, but for it to be, hey, you're going to finish with the best rushing yards to ever do it, it's rare air when that's the case. So that's not this year's run game, and most teams don't have that. So if it is a step back from that area, but you can still pass your way to 300 yards, 4 touchdowns in the air, or it could be a day where we shred you in the run game. Doesn't that, in theory, and I know this is in theory and it's not by practice, but doesn't that make you more lethal? Okay, so maybe that was a little strong. Your strengths are weakened because your run game and defense aren't as lethal, but you have so many different ways to kill them that if some of your other areas of the game are heightened from last season, does it even out? Does that make sense? If your run game's a little weaker, but your pass game has more creativity and sexiness to it, and Jalen can beat you with 300 yards in a way that was different from last season, and the passing game evolves and adapts and gives you some more juice, does it even itself out where you're still just as phenomenal? It's just a different way. And what I'm trying to get to is, I think we get so stuck on, this is how they did it last year, without realizing that it doesn't matter how they did it last year. All of these teams that have a window of real dominant football have to have some sort of facelift throughout their journey. There was a Chiefs team that was centered around Tyreek Hill and Pat Mahomes. Then there were Chiefs teams that ran with Spags and Chris Jones and the defense sort of being their DNA. And you had Travis Kelce more in the prime. This year's version, Travis Kelce's clearly on the back nine. They're waiting for Rice to come back, and he eventually did. And it's a new way of the Kansas City Chiefs. It can't always be about what worked in one of those years. When you have a 5-year window, it's always going to have different layers, different looks, different brands. And I'm trying to spin it positively. I get that as a very optimistic fan, but a fan with knowledge and brains. If you head into a game against the Eagles, let's say Kurt Warner is their defensive coordinator, however the hell that happens. And he goes, I don't know how they're going to run their offense today. Isn't that a scary question? And it could be just as lethal of a question as, how are we going to stop Saquon in that offensive line, and how are we going to score on that defense? Because that's what it was last year. We know what's coming, but then the question is, how do we stop it? And there was never any answers, which is absolutely a way to, clearly show your dominance and have the power and everything. But there's also a gift in confusion, because they don't know exactly what's going to pan out. They don't know what version of Jalen it is. Is it Jalen throwing darts all over the field and finding seams and anticipatory, and yeah, sure, throwing the ball with anticipation? Is it Jalen just throwing dots all over the field? Is it a mix between that and Saquon and some 6-man fronts up there with Fred Johnson and just great blocking? Is it Bigsby who's going to run you over? I wonder if the confusion heading into the week is something that identifies this team. Because you don't know, because they have a lot of layers to them. And they do it in many different ways. And whatever the defense is trying to do, boom, we have the answers. I'm fascinated. I'm fascinated to see if that's sort of what they're all about. All right, now let's listen to Ray Didinger on the WIP Morning Show with Joe DeCamara talking about Jalen's season MVP conversation, where QB1 ranks in his eyes.
They could be the MVP of the regular season. I think right now Jonathan Taylor should be the front runner, but what I saw yesterday is the guy that can win it. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I don't know if it's, in terms of what you mean by most valuable player. Yeah, I think so. But I mean, as the votes would go down, I don't know that Jalen's ever really going to put up those kinds of numbers. I mean, look at the numbers that Daniel Jones is putting up right now. I mean, you're talking about the MVP. Mm-hmm. I mean, it seems like totally out of left field that we could be having a discussion about Daniel Jones as an MVP. But, I mean, the fact of the matter is, if you look at the way that team is playing and the way he's playing, he would be in that. And I think that if you get to that total season MVP award, I don't know that Jalen's numbers will ever be those kinds of numbers that would get the votes that he would need to win it. But it doesn't necessarily mean that he isn't. You know what I mean? I think that in terms of what he means and in terms of what he does and in terms of the way he wins, to me, he's an MVP candidate every year.
I might make that my ringtone. Ray Didinger saying, I think Jalen Hurts is an MVP candidate every year, baby. I mean, this guy, I don't understand the ones out there that can't appreciate his greatness. I just don't get it. I was talking to someone who hates him. Eagles fan who hates him. Hate's a strong word, but he just doesn't understand the obsession with him because he doesn't pass the eye test, whatever that means. I'm sorry, going to 2 Super Bowls in 3 years, outdueling Pat Mahomes and both of them winning Super Bowl MVP and leading your franchise to 10 wins at a minimum every single year. That doesn't pass the eye test for you? Then you're fucking blind. Then you got fucking problems. Go to the doctor. But anyway. It's boring, he said. It's boring. You watch Jalen in the pocket, and I get hit with, well, he's not 6'6". He doesn't have an arm like Josh Allen. Doesn't have an arm like Josh Allen, but he's got Super Bowls like Tom Brady. Doesn't have an arm like Josh Allen. But by the way, I don't even know what that means because I see Jalen Hurts all day long. Under center, turning his back to the offense, setting his feet, hitting his, oh my God, just airing it out. I've seen some of the most beautiful throws all year by Jalen. I'll never forget, it didn't count because Jahan Dotson didn't get his feet in, although I think he could have challenged it if I remember correctly, and I forget which game it was, but that pass to Jahan Dotson, where it like perfectly dropped right into the breadbasket. Me and you could have, all you got to do is stand there, it would just dropped right in our hands. Just, oh my God. Oh my God. I don't get it. Every single week I head into a game knowing QB1 is putting this team in a great position. Is he perfect? No. Is he going to miss a throw? Yes. But all these other guys you slobber over, you don't watch their same throws the way you watch Jalen's throws. You watch Jalen through a lens of you're never allowed to have a bad throw ever, and you must be a robot. And if you miss a throw once, when I watch the All-22 and break it down, like I'm saying, the person saying that, like, as if your knowledge of breaking down the All-22 is going to be the difference maker of what should have happened or not. But I digress. He's allowed. Josh Allen makes mistakes. Pat Mahomes makes mistakes. All these guys that you slobber over makes mistakes. Jalen misses a throw here and there. But damn it, this guy is unfucking believable. He's just unfucking believable. And we got Bryce Harper crying because he doesn't like trade talk speculations and he doesn't like this and he gets questioned about his commitment and it makes him sad. Bryce Harper, of all people, Bryce freaking Harper said that over the weekend to Matt Gelb on the record. Okay? Yet Jalen just wins. You got guys that are insufferable and pick them up. And this guy just gets fueled by it all to flip you off and say, fuck you, jerk off. Fuck you, cocksucker. Go fuck yourself, jag off. And he doesn't even do that, right? I would, but he doesn't even do it. He just doesn't and goes, what time's the game next week, fellas? What time's the game next week? We got another dub to get. It's unbelievable. I'll tell you what else is unbelievable. You know I love my cannabis, ladies and gentlemen. And there is only one place to get your cannabis, and that is Camden Apothecary. Oh, my God. When I tell you Camden Apothecary, there is no better place in the area to get your cannabis. Phillies fans, game day is stressful enough. Parking, traffic, long lines, we've all been there. But when it comes to your cannabis, Camden Apothecary makes it easy, and they are only 5 minutes over the bridge. This is the dispensary for sports fans, just minutes outside of Philly with plenty of free parking. You'll be in and out fast, no hassle, no waiting, and they don't just care about convenience. They care about their customers. Camden Apothecary is all about the guest experience. Their staff makes sure you feel taken care of every time you walk in. Plus, they carry only the best quality cannabis at the fairest prices. So whether you're stocking up for the tailgate, the watch party, or celebrating a big win, you know you're getting the good stuff without overpaying. They even show love to the community with specials for fans, students, service members, and healthcare pros. Camden Apothecary, top quality cannabis, great prices, and an experience made for Philly fans 21 and up. Tell them Brodes sent you for 10% off. So not only are you getting the best cannabis out there, but you're getting 10% off when you tell them Brodes sent you. It's a no-brainer. Get over to Camden Apothecary today. All right, let's wrap things up here by going to the Anytime Hotline, and we will take Jalen from Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts. Oh, that would be sick. Jalen from Voorhees, though.
Hey, bro, it's Jalen from Voorhees. I just wanted to have a quick takeaway after the dominant win today. Is it a coincidence that everything was so fluid and dominant, but AJ Brown isn't playing and is in a head case on the offense like every down, and you're worried about him bitching because he's not getting the ball every snap? I know we're a better team with him, but it feels like we play better without him. Is that weird to say? Thanks for the comments.
Thanks, Jalen. I appreciate it. A little muffled there, but I think I understood the point of it all, which is A.J. Brown, the fluid offense. Is it ironic that the 1 week he's not in, it just felt easier and maybe less pressure to make number 11 happy? And it's more about just the structure of the offense allowing itself to be what it's supposed to be. And you don't have to overthink. You don't have to overcomplicate. You don't have to worry about keeping someone happy. You just allow for this thing to hum the way it's supposed to hum. Is there anything to that? Maybe. And I wouldn't say it's just it's a case-by-case basis. I don't think every time you have a wide receiver that's as great as AJ, it must go to AJ all the time unless he's unhappy. But because of the nature of where the current relationship is between Jalen and AJ and the cryptid tweets and the stupid Instagram posts and the comments and deleting anything related to Jalen Hurts off of his Twitter feed, and because of the nature of where it currently stands, I think it's even an added bonus to what it normally is with the number one wide receiver who is a diva who wants the ball a lot. But I don't even know if I'm explaining that correctly. Because of the surrounding conversations of this current relationship, is there something to the intensity of needing to get A.J. Brown the football when he's out there? Yes. And do I think that weighs people down within the offense so they can't flow the way they want it to flow? Maybe, yeah. Probably. You score a touchdown. I said this before. There was a game where Goddard was going, Smitty was going, and A.J. Brown wasn't getting the ball. And when Devontae Smith scored, and I forget, maybe it was Goddard who scored. Doesn't matter. It was anyone but A.J. My first thought, instead of, woohoo, that's 7 points. Woohoo, that's a big touchdown. My first initial reaction was, AJ's probably pissed because he's sitting over here with 1 reception, 2 targets, and Smitty's on his 6th. Dallas Goedert's on his 2nd touchdown and his 5th target. And I'm just making up numbers, but it was something along those lines. And my first reaction was, how is AJ? And that's me as a consumer watching the game. How do you think the guys that are in the locker room feel? Now, I'm not telling you I want him out of here, trade him, this, that. It's not where I'm at. And I know, dead cap, they're not going to trade him. Blah, 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 blah. Jeffrey Lurie, they had owner meetings. This is what he had to say. Diana Rossini put this out. I asked Eagles owner Jeffrey Lurie what he would do if Brown knocked on the door and asked for a trade. His answer was firm, team first, and championship minded. We do what's best for the team. We don't even consider it seriously unless it's best for the Eagles. We will always do what gives us the best chance of winning big. Everything else is secondary. And then Diana puts in her own words, bottom line, Brown can be frustrated all he wants, but this team plays for the ring first. However, GM Howie Roseman will always listen, and if the Eagles get a big offer, nobody is untradeable in Philadelphia. We do what's best for the team. We don't consider it unless it's best for the Eagles. We will always do what gives us the best chance of winning big. To me, that doesn't say, oh, he's ours. Trust me right now, A.J. Brown's ours forever. I think he kind of opened up the door to, this guy's nutty. This guy's a pain in the rear end. If we can find ways to make it work down the road, and it's best for the Eagles, we could look into that. That's my read on it. Imagine if someone asked him if you're going to trade Jalen Hurts. He'd go, and then that would be the quote that Diana Rossini posts. That wasn't the case for AJ. And I'm not telling you it's happening before the deadline. But something ain't right here. And you are better, to Jalen and Voorhees' point here, you are better with AJ Brown than without. And if they could just suck it up for one more year, get through this, make another postseason run, and then you trade AJ in the offseason, then so be it. And that's probably where this is trending. It's probably trending with the suck it up, shut your face, get back in there, let's make this thing work, let's go win a championship, I'll trade you when the offseason's here, but let's go. And then AJ's not in a uniform again, that's fine. And my last point on this is what I don't enjoy, because I hear this all the time. I've taken 1 billion phone calls about it. There's a narrative that because we once lived in a world where Greg Ward and Travis Fulgham and J.J. Arcega-Whiteside and those type of guys, Jalen Reagors, these were your wide receivers. It's, well, Brodes, I don't want to live in a world where they're our top guys again. You don't have to. It doesn't have to be A.J. Brown or J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. Like, I don't know where we got lost here, where it's either you have A.J. Brown or the worst group of wide receivers ever assembled, as if Howie Roseman didn't realize. He got A.J. Brown, right? Okay. Because he realized those guys didn't work, right? Okay. And then he got Devontae Smith, right? Okay. Because he realized those type of cats don't work, right? Okay. After watching the A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith duo, you really think Howie Roseman of all people is going, you know what? Let's go for Greg Ward's again. You don't think he sees the impact that those guys make and how much that matters? Okay. There's other ways to live your life as an offense than with the characters that were here 6 years ago. And also, there's been a lot of teams in the NFL that have won championships without A.J. Brown. I'm just saying, there are ways to generate success, and this Eagles organization deserves the benefit of the doubt to make it work. I don't know when this conversation needs to get deeper and more intense, because I don't think this is something that's happening before the deadline, but there's something off. I'm not going to ignore that it's off, because something's off. But we'll see how AJ responds. Now it's in AJ's court. Now the ball's in AJ's court. You called out this team essentially by saying, go do something without me. And they did. They put their best performance together. Now it's on you. The ball's in your court to answer this respectfully and as a good teammate and as a professional to help out what they're building. Now it's on you. And we'll see if he can do it. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for this episode. You guys are the best. I love you. I'll talk to you on the next one. Go Birds!